Hey, happy Friday. How's it going? I am Mag, and of course, that's my awesome co host, Karen Tay from An Honest Mistake. Welcome to Pop Up
Yep.
Stage.
Yes,
Oh,
it's
there's
another Friday, and as usual, every Friday, except last Friday, something will go wrong with my computer, right? So today it's the video. So right now I'm running it out of my GoPro, so that's why the audio is not delayed, but the video is,
super
right?
clear.
But
Yes.
it's all good because it's another Friday. That means we've got pop up stage and where we play you all the local stuff that's been put out this week, right? It's all about new releases, and we obviously have a guest this week as well. And yeah, so we don't just play you local stuff. Sometimes we play you the regional stuff too. But
That's right.
especially for today, we have somebody very, very special, which is really cool. And you definitely want to tune in for this one. But first, Mag, I think we want to get into pop up
Bulletin board.
bulletin board.
For a while there, you
Okay.
kind of forgot which one
Yeah, I
was going
froze
first,
for a
right?
while.
So
Yeah.
first, bulletin board, we tell you, we give you suggestions of songs that you can go check out, which have just been released. So normally it's within the week. Okay, so what's been released over the week? And hey, if we miss out any of your tracks, if you happen to be one of them who have released songs over the week, you can do yourself a favor and do us a favor as well by dropping us a line at popupstagemy@gmail.com. Okay, so drop us an
Yep.
email, tell us your track's coming out, when can we look out for it. So if we don't have you on the show, then we will preview your track on the show. Either way, it works. Okay,
Exactly.
so who do we have today?
So this week we have a couple of new one and a couple of big ones actually. So let's check the first one out. This is by Nick. Okay, so NYK. I've known him for a long time, since he started out. I gave him his first few shows actually when I was still organizing gigs
Wow.
at Laundry. So this is a brand new one called On Me. Let's check it out.
Black eyes, long nights, won't stop fighting now, but you won't leave. We've had good times, oh we're so tired, and you're crying out that we can be. But babe, let me know if it hurts too much to say this, but I can't let you go. For your love and I would compromise the world, and I know you got issues and they're making you bleed. So in the meantime you can put this on me. I can set you free. I can make
Nice.
you see. I make you believe. Just put this on me. I fulfill your dreams. I could keep you please, but just let love speak. So won't you put this on me? On me, on me, on me, yeah. On me, on.
Very nice. It's very danceable. It's a very danceable song. Dance pop. That's
I
for
get a
sure.
very R&B
Yeah.
vibe from it as well. So it's
Yeah.
kind of nice.
It feels very much like The Weeknd.
Yes. I think I've heard quite a number of Nick's previous tracks, and I kind of like them. I like the vibe that he gives through all his music. So that's great. Nice one.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Who do you have next?
So next one, let's check this one out. This is by Alien Lipstick Fire. Okay, so that whole
Alien Lipstick Fire. Okay.
psychedelic thing. Let's see if this one is also psychedelic. It's called Saturday Night. Very cool. It's got this, like I said, this whole psychedelic, dreamy
Feel.
vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
So
like
very
in
cool.
space kind of thing.
Yep, exactly. So Alien Lipstick Fire, they've been around. They've been consistently putting out music. Really good act. They're a good act live as well. Very cool. So we've got a couple of more tracks left, but I think what we'll do is we will share them with you later on in the show. Okay, so what I've done is for all our pop-up picks and bulletin board, I've made a playlist on Spotify called New Malaysian Releases. So all you need to do is if you want to check out all these new releases, just head on over to Spotify and search New Malaysian Releases, and you can hear all of them. Okay, so go on and check it out. But I think right now we'll just play you 2 songs, and then we'll play you 2 more later on.
All right. Okay, so the playlist does not have an expiry date, so you don't have to worry. It could have been songs that we previewed like 4 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago. You can still check out those songs. They may not be as new anymore, but hey, if you've not heard it, then it's considered still new lah, kan?
Yep.
So don't forget, if you're tuning in and you'd like us to feature you on the show or feature your music, please get in touch with us. Send us an email to popupstagemy@gmail.com. Now, coming up, we have a guest lined up for us this afternoon, and she teaches English. Wow, Darren, you and her, you guys
gang
have
lah.
something in common. That's right. So, if you have any questions as we chit chat with this lovely young lady this afternoon, please don't hesitate to drop us a comment or a question in the comment section below. So, Darren, who do you have this afternoon?
She is an amazing artist. She sings, super well. She's influenced by, bands like Led Zeppelin, bands from the 70s and the 80s, which is cool. And the guitarist is amazing, the band is amazing. They played India last January and they had a tiny little tour. And they're pretty much they've been in the scene. They started off doing covers, now they're moving into originals, which is great. And her mom is also a killer singer in the scene too. So
I've
find
heard.
out. Yeah, so we'll find out a little bit more as we get into the show. So let's bring her on right now. This is Billie Blue Blackstone of Billie Blue and the Nowhere Man.
Hi, Billie. How are you today? Welcome
I'm
to the
fine,
show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This is very
Thank you
exciting.
for joining us. So before Darren joined us and before we kick-started the show, I was very curious, about her name. And I asked her, where did the name come from? And she goes, this is actually my real name. So Billie Blue is her real name, which is super cool. I mean, how many people can go around saying, I'm named after a color? So I wanted to know, what's the story behind your name?
Well, so my given name is actually Billie Blue Azalea, like the flower.
Wow, that's like
Yeah.
2 colors.
So
Like a flower some more.
yeah, that's my given name, and so my first name Billie, I was named after Billie Holiday, the jazz singer, and
Awesome.
who happens to be one of my favorite singers as well. And so my parents, I was born in Japan, and we lived in the countryside, and in our garden we had a lot of like azalea bushes just growing in the wild. So they wanted to name me Billie Azalea, but they felt like something was missing, and then they somehow just came up with Billie Blue Azalea.
Oh my goodness, your
Very
parents
nice.
are so awesome. The fact that you have a whole gorgeous story behind that name, and your name is so funkily cool. Most of the time when someone becomes an artist, they have to pick a stage name. They may pick a stage name as well, but you don't have to.
Hers
You were born with
original
a
lah.
stage name.
Yeah,
God.
born with a stage name.
It's like they knew what they wanted me to do, in the future. They were like, let's just give her a stage name ready to go.
They determined your profession from day one. They're like, she's gonna be a star someday. We're giving her a name.
Yeah, I think that's
How-
what they envisioned for sure.
Yeah, man. So growing up, did you have problems with your name or people just loved it naturally?
A little, like usually from kids my age, I did have some issues because, well, first of all, in Japan they couldn't pronounce my name, and
So they
the
call you
coolest-
Biri. Biri.
Yeah, yeah,
Biri Blua.
exactly. And it was like the meaning was lost on them. They were like, "You're named after who now?" like they just didn't care. And in school, like later on when I moved to Singapore, the name Billie like wasn't cool yet. I would always get like, "Isn't that a boy's name?" But nowadays, with Billie Eilish rising in popularity, everyone's like, "Oh, Billie, like Billie Eilish." I'm like, sure.
There's another artist in the past. I think she came out in early 2000s. Her name's Billie too, and
Yes,
she
correct.
she got into acting, and
Yes.
so this film, so she's Brit, and she acted in this film called The Secret Diaries, Confessions of a Showgirl or something like that. Yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
yeah,
I'm
so
not
that's a pretty
familiar with
interesting
that.
show. But yeah, so when I first saw your name, I was like, okay, that's a really cool name because not many people, have that name. And
Yeah,
a
I
lot
guess
of,
it's kind of an old school name.
yeah,
That's Billy Piper, right?
that's Billie Piper. Yeah,
Oh,
correct.
yeah. I know who that
Yeah.
is.
But there is also another pop star, very young when she first came out. Her name was also Billie. I remember her tracks, but yeah, she's been missing for so long. But you got a really cool name, and I'm so happy that you're on
Thank
the
you.
show this afternoon. Your parents just didn't envision your future. They even knew that, by the time she gets really famous, people know her name. Billie is not just for boys, that kind of thing. That's pretty cool.
I mean, Billy, like Billy. I mean, that's a boy's name.
That's a guy's
right?
name, yeah.
Yeah. So I think, like people need to go and learn English a bit, lah. Which actually, yeah. I mean,
That's where we come in.
yeah, correct. So now the thing is, like, I think the last time we spoke, I didn't think we spoke about like you being a teacher. Maybe we did, but not English. Like, we didn't say anything. I mean, I knew you taught something. I just didn't ask you what it was. I think.
Yeah, so
Right?
it's English. That's what I
Right,
teach.
right,
English
yeah,
is the
cool.
second
So-
language.
Yeah, very nice. So tell us a little bit more about this. I mean, we'll get into the music part like later on, but tell us about this teaching thing.
Well, so I've been teaching for about like almost 3 years. I think in May it will be
Wow.
3 years. And I was mostly like teaching at a center before the pandemic hit, and after
Right.
lockdown started, I've been teaching completely online. But
Okay.
it's really nice. It's something I really do enjoy as a day job because in a lot of ways, teaching has some similarities to performing. Because
course.
you're like, especially in the classroom setting, you're in front of a group of people and you're trying to communicate something.
Mhm.
You're
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
there to communicate, and also there's a little bit of acting that goes on when you teach because
That's
Yes.
true.
especially when you're teaching language, you have to be like really animated, and you have to like do anything you can to get the students to try to understand you.
Yeah.
And because I teach from beginner to intermediate, like especially with beginner level, there's a lot more acting going on. You have to like use
Of
your
course.
use body language, use all kinds of props, and use facial expressions to get the students to understand what you're trying to teach
Yeah.
them. Yeah.
Yeah. Are they children or like are they adults?
All ages. I've taught all ages, but mostly adults. Yeah.
Very nice. I need
I've
to
had
find
few
out.
classes.
I need to
Sorry?
find out where this place is because I need to get a real job. Yeah, but cool. Yeah, so all ages, that's great, And but how are classes like online, Because I know how it's like, because I found it difficult to teach somebody something when you can't actually see them. Like I did this this
Absolutely.
I had a short stint at an international school, and it was a 5-week course. The first 2 weeks I was physically there, but then the last 3 weeks the lockdown hit again, and then I had to do everything online. But
Mhm.
the worst thing about the teaching sessions were that I couldn't see them. They could see me, but I couldn't see them. So I had no idea if they were actually there or not, right? So are there any challenges, trying to teach online, especially when it comes to language?
Yeah, completely. Because I have the same issue. I do have a lot of students who are not comfortable turning on their cameras. Sometimes it's for religious reasons, sometimes it's just for personal reasons, and sometimes maybe it's because they're not there.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
might be lying down in bed, So,
Yeah.
yeah, so that does make it really challenging because, like, the new students that I've had, I have to try to identify them by their voices, and I don't know what they look like. So sometimes I don't know if they, like, I have to be like, got it? Like, did you get that? Like, did you hear me? Because sometimes I'll say something and then it's
And there's no
silence.
response.
Yeah, I get you. That's the worst.
Like, hello, am I talking to myself?
Yeah.
Yeah, but thankfully my classes are quite small because usually when you go through centers, they try to keep the class sizes pretty small. I think compared to like
Yeah.
universities and stuff, I usually have less than 10 students.
Oh,
one of the
okay.
yeah, some of my classes are one-on-one as well, so that does make it a lot easier,
Very nice. Very
easier
nice.
to manage.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, I to be honest, like I kind of miss teaching, So the last time I stepped into a classroom as a full timer, that was in 2015. So 2009 to 2015, So 6 years I taught English. And then right after that was done, that's how I ended up at, laundry and, and then I ended up just getting into artist management and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, anyway, it's not about me today. It's about you because you have a brand new song out. It's a really cool one. Very different from what you
you.
usually do. You guys are a rock band. You're loud. You're high energy and all that stuff. But this track that you just put out is a little bit more chill and down tempo. I heard it and I really like how musical it is, even though it's just the voice and the guitar.
Yeah, it's completely
So
acoustic.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So tell us more about this song. I mean, sorry, Meg. I know you like to, go the big picture and then like come down, but I just want to jump straight into the song because it's such a good song.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So this song, as Darren mentioned, it's really different for us because it is our first acoustic release, and we wanted to channel a different side of ourselves because that's part of our influence as well. Like, we don't only listen to rock music or psychedelic rock or things like that. We have also been influenced a lot by the troubadours of folk music, like Neil Young and Bob Dylan, and I was definitely raised on that kind of music too. So this was an opportunity to tap into that kind of sound, and I guess because the song is more vulnerable in nature, like for me personally as the lyricist, this song was the first time I managed to capture vulnerability like in a real sense in my lyrics. So it kind of made sense to go that acoustic route. I think the song needs that gentle touch, and it shouldn't be drowned out by all kinds of instruments and distortion. It needs
I
to
get
be
you.
simple.
Yeah.
So how do you reach within to be able to bring out that vulnerability?
It's a process. It's definitely a process. For me, it took me a while to get comfortable with writing lyrics, despite the fact that I've always expressed myself best through writing. That's always been like my main mode of expression. I used to keep a diary during my entire teenage years, I was
Teenagers.
always keeping a diary. Even as an adult, like I still have a diary. I just don't have the time to write in it as often. Like a couple months will go by and I'm like, oh, okay, I feel like writing something now. But so in that space, I've always had no problem being vulnerable because I know no one reads my diary. No one's going to read that. Even my parents respect that. So, but it's different when you're writing songs and you know that you're going to be singing that on stage. You're going to be sharing that with your bandmates. You're going to be sharing that with everyone who knows you and everyone who doesn't know you as well. So I think when I first started writing lyrics, I was looking at it from a more like third person perspective. I was looking at it from the outside, more observational. But this one, I knew that I wanted to get to that point where I can be vulnerable and I can be real in my lyrics. There is always room for songs that are more observational or like whether they're political commentary or whether they're just like observation about the world or other people. But it is nice to be able to get to that point where you can express what's in your heart, and because of the kind of like all my favorite lyricists, I think they do that. And most of my favorite songs lyrically, they do that. So I wanted to be able to do that. And I think this was the first time I got to do that in a song.
Yes.
So I'm very excited about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a progression, because like that the way we write like lyrics, and the way as we grow as artists, as we get into different things and read different things, we just become better and better, and we try to open up a little bit more. Because I remember I used to write lyrics about other things as well, but I would still sing it from the first person point of view. I would still use words like I and me, right? But it's never really like an experience that I experienced, right? So then having switched to write something that's truly 100% personal, that is where I guess it takes growth, and it's kind of like a little journey,
Maturity.
Yeah, exactly. I think as we evolve as songwriters, we're also maturing as individuals as well, and that always helps your songwriting.
Definitely. All right, so the track is called Old Friend, correct?
Yes.
So tell us, what inspired the song?
So I think I talked about this a little bit the last time I spoke to Darren, but the song is called Old Friend, but it isn't actually about a person. It is kind of like I was thinking about all the periods of time in my life where I had gone into a negative headspace. And I don't want to go so far as to call it depression, but there were periods of time in my life that were a bit darker. And when I would look back on those times, I realized that there was a sense of comfort in being in that mode and in that mood, because when you're there, you are your only support, and you are the only one who's listening to all of those thoughts. So it starts to become, every time you return to that space, even if the trigger is different, it starts to become very familiar, like an old friend. So that was the inspiration behind the song. So it's kind of like, sometimes you're at war with yourself, but you're also your own best friend, And your old friend always knows you best and knows all the worst parts of you and all the best parts of you. So that's kind of what inspired this song. But the good thing I would say is that after I wrote this song, it was very cathartic, and I felt like I had kind of purged something, which it was very liberating. I wrote this, and then I was like, hey, after some time, I realized that I wasn't really going back to those spaces anymore, and I was trying to, I'm still I mean, I'm still me, but like, I just realized that I was trying to approach things differently from a different angle. It's growth. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's why I say, like, as you grow as a person, your songwriting evolves too. But sometimes I think your art can also aid your own personal growth. And I think that's kind of
Absolutely.
what happened here.
Absolutely. So, what were some of the struggles trying to reach back into all those memories, of being in a dark space and then penning it down and creating a song out of it?
Well, I didn't find it to be a struggle in that sense, because I've always been someone who's, I think, good at confronting the darker sides of life. I don't really shy away from those things.
I like
think
the
it's
way
good
she's just
to-
confronting.
I mean, that sounds funny.
Sounds
But I
very
mean, like,
brave and strong.
I don't know. I just think I don't like to shy away from, negative feelings or sad feelings. They're there and you have to deal with them.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the healthiest thing to do. So I don't try to run away from things or sugarcoat things.
Exactly.
And yeah, but as I mentioned, writing this song was very cathartic. So, I mean, I think the main struggle was just the big thing I always have with songwriting is finding the right words and the best words to express like what I'm envisioning or what I'm feeling. And yeah, because I can be very critical about that stuff. So
Understand.
yeah, but writing it itself was it wasn't hard to tap into those emotions. It was just the first time I sang it, though, it was kind of like, wow, I can't believe I just sang all that stuff in front of a whole bunch of people.
The feeling, was it very overwhelming?
It wasn't overwhelming. It was like, actually, it was kind of exciting because I felt like I had opened a new door. And
Very nice.
it's something I always wanted to do. And I felt very, very proud of that song. And compared to like anything I'd written before, I was really like, yes, like I really like what I did here. And I also really like what Sohail did with the guitar. I think it's very beautiful. And just hearing it come together, and when you play it live for the first time, it's like, oof. It's a really nice feeling.
Nice. All right, so if you're watching, welcome to Pop-Up Stage. We're speaking to Billie Blue this afternoon. Now, we're talking about her latest release. It's called Old Friend. If you have a question or if you'd like to send us a message, you're more than welcome to drop it in the comment section below. We've actually got a question here by a good friend of mine. She is a best-selling author, and her name is Gina Yap Layung. She wants to know, when you write, do you write lyrics or melody first? Especially for the latest release, which did you work on first?
That's an interesting question. Well, it kind of depends on the song, but for Old Friend, the lyrics came first. I wrote the first and second verse first, I think, and then together with Sohail, he had the guitar part ready. So then he was playing it, and then I was trying to like fit the lyrics into like what he had written. So that's when the melody came about. And then and so after that, after the verse was ready, then I started writing the chorus. Yeah. And the third verse that came later. Yeah. But the lyrics were first.
I hope that answered your question, Gina. I'll be happy. Gina does a lot of work. She can even write songs sometimes. So, I can only imagine what's going through her mind as you speak right now. Now, of course, you worked on the song. You have a band to perform with. They are called the Nowhere Men. So, what was some of their roles apart from Sohail himself?
Well, David is the bassist and Ruben is the drummer. So songwriting wise, usually what would happen is Sohail and I kind of sit down and he shows me what he has on guitar and I show him like what I have written. Or we'll be like, hey, I kind of want to write a song about this, or I kind of want to, let's try a song with this kind of feel. So usually Sohail and I would start writing together, and once we have like the skeleton of the song ready, then we bring it to the band, and then together with the guys, we arrange it and flesh it all out into like a full-fledged song. So we
Right.
arrange it together, we come up with all the different lines. Sometimes we have all the different parts of the song, but we don't know like where, like which one is going to be the chorus, or yeah. So that is usually decided all together when we jam as a
Alright.
whole band.
Very nice. Very cool. Do you guys like for this one especially, was it just like you and Sohail together in a room and you put things together and then you went to the studio to record, or was there like a period of time where you actually recorded some of the demos at home? Because like we're all stuck in the pandemic, a lot of people have actually picked up production, so is it the same for you guys as well?
During the pandemic, you mean, or specific to this song?
Specific to this song.
Well, we wrote it in his living room, but I remember like the first couple verses came really easily. It was the third verse that like I took a while. I was sitting on it and I was taking a while to finish it. But when we finally did, I mean, Sohail does know some production stuff himself. So we did like try to record it together just to see like how it could sound like. But at the end of the day, like really recording it, that was in the studio with Ash from Nadir Studios.
Yeah. Cool. I mean, like demos it's always good to just like make demos, at least you can kind of like hear it back and say, okay, what else can we do to make the song better, because I know like back in the day, I mean, I won't say back in the day, like in 2019 I was still recording music like demos using my phone, like we would jam with the band and it'll be all loud and stuff, and then I'll turn on the recorder function on the phone and record it, right? And then when the pandemic hit, I'm like, okay, I've got all these equipment now, I think I really need to get into recording stuff, so like in the past year I've written like a bunch of demos, and right now we're going into the next phase of recording where we're finalizing some stuff, and then we're gonna go into the studio to record like for real, right? So it's actually given me the liberty to kind of like sit back and look at the song as a whole, rather than having everything recorded then we decide what to do. So now I can actually decide earlier on, which is really cool.
That's great. And that sounds like the approach we're going to be taking for like our future stuff. So we do have like a song that's it's already written. We performed it a couple of times pre-pandemic, but like we it doesn't actually even have a title yet.
Yeah.
But that's the next one that we're planning to record, because we're very excited about it. And but now that we all have a little bit more knowledge about like just basic production stuff, we're planning to work it out at home first, do a little bit of, like do a demo as you said, and then only when we kind of have a better idea of like how we want to record it and how we want it to sound, then we're going to bring it to the studio. Right. Because you are right, like even when we were recording our album in the past, things change. Like even if you've played a song live before many times, when you bring it to the studio, there's so many other elements that you can add and so many different things to take into consideration. It becomes like a different animal in the studio.
Yeah, you're right.
So so I think it's good that we all have like a little bit more knowledge about that stuff. I would say it's mostly like Sohail has really like tried to learn more about like production and stuff, so that helps. That's definitely a big help as we move forward with our next song.
Yeah.
All right. So now speaking about this song and how you've put yourself out there in this song as well, what is your objective of the song in terms of when people listen to it? What do you want them to feel, or how do you want them to feel?
Well, I don't think that's up to me to decide, because I think everyone is going to take away something different when they listen to music, and
Yep.
whether it's my song or someone else's song. But I think, I mean, I can see how this song could resonate with someone in a more literal way. Like they could be thinking about an old friend, an actual old friend, or it could resonate with someone in the way that it does with me, in a more metaphorical way. But I've said this to Darren the last time, I think. Um, since I wrote the song, and I've grown up a little bit, had a few more experiences. The song does sometimes remind me of lost friendships as
Okay.
well, and so it's kind of taken on an additional layer. So apart from the inspiration that first drove me to write these lyrics, there is now like a new layer on top of it, which is really, it's cool. I mean, of course, it's poignant as well. I mean, nobody likes to feel sad, but
Yes.
still, it is, as an artist, it is cool to see how your music can evolve with you, and how your own words can start to mean more than one thing. It can take on layers of meaning, even for yourself. So I hope that it does that for listeners as well. As long as it resonates with you in some way, I'm happy. I just want to make you maybe connect with something within yourself. Yeah.
Now,
When you listen to music.
I've not actually heard the whole full song just yet. But speaking about being in a dark place, and trying to dig out and stuff like that, what do you wish people knew more about, being in that dark place, or helping themselves come out of it?
Well, I think you have to trust yourself. It's easy to want to run away, but you have to give yourself the time to like sit with those feelings and deal with them. That's the only way you can heal, I think. Yeah, and I think it's important to try to understand yourself. If you're feeling poorly, why are you feeling that way? What is it that's causing you to feel that way? And what can you do to help yourself to get out of that rut? So that takes time. I don't think we should rush those things, but the most important thing is, I guess, to be honest with yourself and to get comfortable with really looking within. Yeah.
That's
nice.
exactly what I was gonna say. Like in times like these, you just need to be really, really honest. 'Cause, for example, if you're a lot younger, let's say you're 15, 16, you're still a teenager, you're influenced by so many things, you might not know how to deal with these feelings, so like actually sitting down, thinking about, talking to I guess that would kind of help put you in that right frame of mind, to really deal with it, because like if you don't deal with it, you're either suppressing it or you're either running away from it. So
which is not healthy.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think especially when you're younger, like a lot of time our stressors are external sometimes, and we worry so much about like the outside world and things that we can't control. But I think it's important to really think about how things are affecting you, why they're affecting you. And you have to have that connection with yourself, because if you don't have a strong relationship with yourself, it's going to be so much harder to navigate challenges, wherever they may come from.
Absolutely. Okay. That's pretty cool. All right. So, working on this track, if you look back today and you're very happy with what you've put out, but if you could change anything about it, would you have?
About the song?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I guess it's I'm kind of a very no regrets kind of person usually.
Nice.
But I think it is what it is, and we did what we could, at like the best that we could at that point in time. So if I want to
Yeah.
change anything, I'll do that in the next song.
Right. Have you performed this song live before?
Yes, but not very often because it's acoustic. And
Right.
usually our shows and the venues that we play at require more
Yeah.
electric,
stuff.
full band kind of sound. Yeah. And so yeah, we have performed it, but not a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is there
not
is
a
there
lot.
like a like full band version?
No, this is just acoustic.
Purely acoustic.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've played it at like No Black Tie, for instance, because that's one of the few places that we could do like an acoustic set and then an electric
Yeah.
set. So we've done that a couple of times, and it was always really special to get to play that because we just really don't get to play it very often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Darren said that this particular track, Old Friend, is very different from what you've put out in the past.
Mhm.
So is this like a new style that you're going to be sticking to, or, you like to keep it varied? Variety is, of course, the spice of life.
Yes, I like variety, and I think especially because our influences are pretty diverse. I mean, there's definitely a common thread that ties everything together, but yeah, I like that variety. I think it's good to explore different sounds and tap into different parts of yourself, different energies, and yeah, I don't want to limit myself or the band to one specific sound. As long as, I think the most important thing is that your identity always comes through, you
Yeah,
know.
right.
And there are a lot of bands that do that, from the Beatles to Led Zeppelin to Fleetwood Mac. Like, a lot of bands, they have acoustic tracks, they have electric tracks, they have blues songs, they have psychedelic songs, but they all sound like the same band because that their identity, their distinct sound is what ties everything together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you were to put a label to the band, like in terms of like a genre, what would you say your genre is?
That's so tricky. I always get asked that. It's really tricky. But the way that I've been describing it of late is we are a rock and roll band with blues, folk, and psychedelic influences.
Mm.
Yeah. So
I think
that
that's a very like I think it's the perfect description. It's so spot on. Yeah. But there's no other way to describe it. You know what I mean? Like you can't just say, okay, you're a blues rock band, but you're not just a blues rock band. So there's just a mixture of a few elements and all that. And the way you describe it is perfect. Yeah, very nice.
Thank you.
Okay, so we've spoken about this track. Where is it available? Is it already available?
Yeah, so you can listen to it on all streaming platforms. I know it's on Spotify, it's on Apple Music, iTunes. Sometimes I get confused about the difference between Apple Music and iTunes, but I guess they're different.
It's the same thing. Yeah, iTunes is the player. Apple Music is the service. Yeah.
I see. Well, I'm a Spotify user, so
Me too.
Me too.
yeah. And I guess it's on like Tidal and Deezer and stuff, which I've never used. I don't even really know what they look like, but you can find them wherever you're listening. Yeah.
And do you have a music video to accompany it?
Well, actually, next Friday, our lyric video will be coming out, and
Nice.
that'll be premiering on YouTube. And it's a very simple video, but I think it fits the song.
Yeah,
Very nice.
Yeah, so that will help you to kind of you can see the lyrics, so you can see where we were going with the track.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah.
So we've spoken about Old Friend by Billie Blue and the Nowhere Men. So let's take a listen. Let's do a preview right here on Air for Radio.
Oh, friend, you know how the wires twine. Your hands cut through mine. Save a bottle for a dime. From my cold shoulder. be shook.
Very nice. So congratulations on that track. Are you working on anything else at the moment?
Yes, I've written like a bunch of lyrics during the pandemic, and now the boys and I are finally able to actually meet up and spend time together. So we have some songs in the works, and there's a song that we are planning to record very, very soon. So that's what's coming up next.
Very nice.
All right.
Cool.
So we'll look forward to that one. Now, like every other show, our guests will be sitting on the hot seat as we take them through our next segment, which is a game, and we'll ask them quick questions and quick answers. It's called What's on Your Mind. So, Billy Blue, are you ready?
I suppose I am.
As ready as I could be. Okay, let's kick it off, Darren, with question number 1.
All right. If you had to choose a different stage name, what would you change it to?
Oh God. I guess I would go for Blue Azalea. My middle name.
Oh. See, when
Okay.
you give them good names, they don't have to think of any other name.
Exactly.
Well done to your parents, man. Well done. All right, question number 2. Describe 3 feelings that you felt the first time you heard Old Friend.
The first time I heard it, excited. Let's see. Excited, thrilled, and also nervous. Yeah. Nervous
Okay.
because I knew it was going to be shared with the world. Yeah.
Right.
And it's like your
So the-
baby, you know?
Yep. The world has a piece of you right now.
Mhm.
All right. Okay. The next question. Okay. What is one piece of advice you give someone who's dealing with negativity or mental health issues?
Well, it's nothing to be ashamed of, first of all. I think sometimes that can get in the way of healing as well, that sense of shame. But it's nothing to be ashamed of. And the most important thing is to, connect with yourself, understand yourself, and that will help you as you try to fight off, these demons.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, very nice. Now, you said earlier that you're a no regrets person, but just looking back to everything you've done in life, is there one thing that you actually regret doing?
Well, I don't know. Well, okay, I guess when we toured India, I really wish that we had stayed longer. Yeah, because it was great. It was so fun. And I really wish we had stayed longer. Oh, and another thing, I wish we had gotten a photographer or a videographer to come along with us, because there's so much that could have been documented and we were just
Yep.
documenting it ourselves. But there's a lot of not great footage coming from our iPhones. So, yeah, it would have been really nice if we could have had a photographer, videographer to come with us.
So that would be the next step for the next tour then.
Absolutely. I'm going to make sure that happens. Otherwise, one of us is going to have to get training now to become like a photographer.
Yep. So throughout the whole trip, you're going to be the assigned photographer. Make sure pictures are good.
Exactly. Very important.
Okay.
Darren, are you still there?
Next
Okay.
question. Yeah, I am here. Okay, the next question is, what have you done that you are most proud of?
I think even just starting a band and becoming a musician, because when I was a teenager, that's definitely not something I ever thought I would be able to do. I wouldn't even sing in front of my friends because I was
Oh, wow.
so shy. Yeah, I was really shy about these things, like trying to like perform or something, because I was so worried about screwing up and embarrassing myself. So yeah, I didn't even sing in front of my friends. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, so it's crazy to look back and see, what we've accomplished as a band, and
Nice.
how much more confident I am as a human being as well.
Look how far you've come. Well done. All right. And our final question is, if someone wanted to get a tattoo that represented you, what would you say they should get?
Hey, Blue Azalea.
Ah, nice. Everything's written in her name, I tell you. It's
Yeah,
brilliant.
no, but I guess it depends on who it is, Then if it's something like a little symbol of a memory or something, that could be nice too. But the first thing I think of is definitely Blue Azalea.
Definitely. All right, cool.
Yeah, I mean, azaleas are generally pinkish purple,
Yeah.
right? It's kind
Yeah,
of like
that's why Blue Azalea is special.
yeah.
Yep. It's like finding the 4-leaf clover, it's like different.
Exactly. Although my boyfriend did joke that he wants to get a tattoo of my moles. Of my moles. Yeah, because I have this triangle here. So he said he wants to get a tattoo of my moles.
Oh, that's so cool. It's so sweet.
That's so funny. Yeah, he's not going to do it, but but he could if he wanted to.
So that's a hint, by the way.
Sorry?
So there you go. No, just speaking to your boyfriend, don't worry. So there you go. We're actually speaking to Billie Blue this afternoon on Pop-Up Stage. Now, of course, you can go check out. I'm sure she's on social media. Where can they find you?
You can find us on Instagram at BBTNM Band, and Facebook at Billie Blue and the Nowhere Men, YouTube as well at Billie Blue and the Nowhere Men, and of course on all streaming platforms at Billie Blue and the Nowhere Men. Just remember to spell my name right with an IE.
If you spell it with a Y, you'll never find her.
No,
But,
you'll get some rap artists. I think there's a rap artist called Billie Blue with a Y.
Really? I'm so
I think
curious
so.
right now. Let me type it and find if I actually find someone. Well, not really. I didn't come across anything, but there is a college. There's a college of design if you type Billie Blue.
Actually, there is. I was alerted to that by my art teacher in high school.
She's like, you are destined to be an artist. Well, you are in your own way.
I had no choice.
You are destined for it. Billie Blue, thank you so much for dropping by and spending your afternoon with us. It has truly been so fun having you on the show. We could go on for hours chit-chatting, but we've only got so much time. So, do keep in touch, and we hope to have you back on the show sometime soon. Darren, before I let her go, anything else you'd like to say or ask her?
No, I think that's pretty much it. I think like other questions, I will probably ask her on a personal level.
When we finally get to see each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, with all I don't even go out anymore,
Tell
My
me
life
about
has
it.
changed so much.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, but thank you so much for having me. This was such a good hangout and a very good chat.
Yeah. All right.
Any last words for your fans and our viewers tuning in this afternoon?
I think the message of this whole chat has been to really get to know yourself, right, and to connect with yourself. So I guess that's my parting message. Yeah. You have to, that's my parting message. Understand yourself, get to know yourself. It makes everything so much easier.
Wonderful. Billie Blue, thank you so much. We'll keep in touch. You take care and do stay safe. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
So there you go, Billy Blue,
Yep.
from Billy Blue and the Nowhere Man, dropping by on the show, chatting about her latest release. It is called Old Friend. You can actually go check it out on all your
Yep.
streaming platforms, whichever you prefer. And make sure you mark down the date. Next Friday is when they will release their lyric video. I am looking forward to that one, so that you can get a clearer picture of where they were heading to with the song as well. So make sure you make sure. Okay. If not, we will remind you because we'll be back next Friday as well. You can't get rid of us, that's for sure. So, Darren, we are coming to the end of the show already. So it's time for us to give you pop-up picks this afternoon. Who do we have?
Exactly. And this week for pop-up picks, we've got a few new ones. So let's check them out. As usual, we have Kelvin Young has been putting out music, so I just need to play his track. But this time, he is actually singing, not just
Darren
shredding
is
on guitar.
obsessed with Kelvin.
I mean, only because he's got a song out every single week, right? So we play new releases, and I believe in good music. So let's check this one out. Okay, this is
Absolutely.
When I Believe in You by Kelvin Young. It's a blues. It's a very, very long intro. I think the singing is coming soon.
When things don't go the way I want, and money ain't coming by, I got
No, we
holes
all
in
know
my
that.
pockets and holes in my jacket. Oh God, I need an answer for me. I really need an answer for me. Rain clouds are looming.
Yeah, so
Oh, I
Kelvin
like that song
doesn't sing.
already.
Kelvin doesn't sing often. He's obviously a shredder on the guitar, and he's a great guitarist. So if you guys want to check that track out, just go on Spotify and search for new Malaysian releases, and this track is on there. Gina, I know you had a question. Is it Calvin? It's Kelvyn.
That's
And
right.
Yeang. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
If you see a guy with red hair, that's the guy. That's the dude.
Exactly. All right. We have another one. This track just dropped today. It's called If We're Meant to Be by an artist who's actually Filipino who grew up here in Malaysia. I was speaking to another artist yesterday, and they've collaborated, and that guy said that Zook actually grew up here in Malaysia. So let's check this track out. Okay, this is Zook, If We're Meant to Be.
For a moment there, I thought we were talking about the club.
Yeah, it's Zeauk. So his real name is Zeus.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It was 11:15 when you called me last night. Told me that you wanted to call it off. Wish I could have seen it through, babe. I know I've done things and unconsciously hurt you, but I will let this be my lesson for not being enough to you. I didn't mean to hurt you, so my actions are the other way. You know I've always loved you, and baby that will never change. The time they used to follow us seems to have already stopped. Instead of an us, now it has become you and me. We fall under the same skies, watching the same stars. It's just that we are apart.
There you go.
If we
Cool. It's
I was waiting
atmospheric.
for that.
Yeah, it's atmospheric, that's for sure. It kind of takes you on a tiny little journey, as
That's
it
right.
builds. Yeah.
And his
Pretty
real
cool.
name is Zeus.
Yeah, his real name is Zeus, so he brought the thunder.
We I cannot say anything else after that because that's the line.
But yeah, okay, let's check this next one out. She used to go by the name Beverly Matujal,
Beverly.
which is her real name. She's rebranded herself, from the whole singer-songwriter pop stuff to going back to her true roots. She is from Sabah, and having traditional instruments and that traditional sound, which is very, very cool. So she's rebranded herself to Maya Bayu. So this track is called Battle Cry. Now, I have not heard it. I'm guessing it is very
I heard it
tribal.
last night at midnight. It sounded amazing.
Okay, cool. Let's check it out.
It's so Malaysian,
Yeah. Which is great, it's traditional.
Yeah.
The roots. This is the kind of stuff that will play Rainforest Music Festival.
Yeah, man.
If your heart is weary and there is pain beneath your skin, I will be your shelter. Come rain or come shine, cast out and lonely, you were planted away from the sun. I'll water your roots and make you stronger. I know you well and you do not belong here. Come to a place where you don't have to fear. We'll build a different tribe for us, where we belong together. Hear our battle cry, hear our battle cry. We'll make a different home for us and live inside the wonder of our paradise.
It feels like a soundtrack for what, for like Moana.
Yeah, I was
or-
just about to say that. It's like it's perfect for a
or
soundtrack. that talks
Mulan or
about-
something, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's a great track, and I think Beverly definitely, found her niche and her sound, because earlier on she was doing the whole singer-songwriter thing, which is very generic and kind of what everybody is doing, So now for her to get into this, I think it's the right move, she's definitely doing it the right way and standing, like making Sabah proud lah,
That's right.
and I
that's
think
right.
and I think that's the way, that's very, very Malaysian.
I've always loved Beverly's voice. She's got this
Yeah.
really amazing voice, and I can actually listen to her music play over and over again.
Exactly.
So a track like this, with Raya and the Last Dragon, I figured if this track
Yeah,
came out earlier, this
yeah,
would be like perfect
exactly.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, just looking forward to it being picked up for something in the future. You never know.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
So
are we
y-
done with pop-up picks this
Yeah, so we
afternoon?
are done with pop-up picks, and if you guys would like to check out all the music that we played right here today, just head on over to Spotify and search for the playlist called New Malaysian Releases. Okay, that's a playlist that I made, and that's a playlist that I use for the show. Everything is there from today and before. All right, so
Previous,
go and check it out. It's, trust me, you'll discover a lot of really cool stuff. So
That's right.
yeah, I think that's it from us today. We'll be back here again next Friday, same time, from 12 p.m. all the way to 1 p.m. Same place, right here on AFO Radio.
That's right. And of course, if you have a new release, don't forget to drop us an email. Just send it to popupstagemy@gmail.com. We're looking forward to receiving all your emails. If you've actually sent us an email and waiting for a reply, don't worry. We'll get back to you as soon as possible. Now, of course, if you remember last week, we did a little intro for what's going to happen today, but that band couldn't make it due to unforeseen circumstances. But we have them in schedule, and they will be back really soon. Well, in due time at least. Okay, so as Darren said, we will be back same time, same place next week. Till then, stay safe, have a great weekend, and thank you for tuning in to AF4 Radio. Bye bye.